Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of our STEM10 Plus series. My name is Johnny, and on this week's episode, we'll be talking about volcanoes. Volcanic activity is the most powerful force in nature. Some volcanic eruptions are much more powerful than the largest nuclear explosions. Volcanoes are also responsible for much of the land we live on. 90% of all continents and ocean basins are a product of volcanism. The air we breathe and the water we drink have been produced by millions of years of eruptions of steam and other gases. The surface of the Earth is made of rigid plates called tectonic plates that move at a rate of a few centimeters per year. When they collide, one plate can be pushed beneath the other. Through a complicated process of heating and dehydration, water is pushed to the surface along with scorching hot rock. This molten rock then rises and erupts on the surface, building up a volcano. Volcanoes also form when plates move apart. Magma rises up and erupts on the surface as lava where the plates separate. When magma flows above the surface of the Earth, it is called lava. Usually, lava changes from bright red to a duller red, gray, or black as air causes it to cool down and solidify. Volcanoes erupt when magma, the red hot liquid rock, seeps up through a vent in the Earth. More violent eruptions occur when pyroclastic material, a mixture of magma, rocks, ash, and hot gases, is exploded upward by pressure caused by underground gases and magma. On the left image, we can see the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, and on the right image, one of the many active volcanoes found in Hawaii. Although they are often a destructive force, volcanoes are an amazing facet of creation. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and eruption types. Now, stay tuned as my colleagues will talk to you about the different types of volcanoes that exist on Earth.
Welcome, folks, once again to another episode of STEM10 Plus. We hope that you're enjoying so far all the visuals of the volcanoes that we're going to be showing you today. Today, my friends and I decided to make different types of volcanoes. We're all going to tell you all the great features of these volcanoes. This is my buddy Benny. He's really excited too. You hear the birds. Everybody's excited when we're talking about volcanoes. So let me tell you about this first one. The example that we had made here at our house is the Shield volcano here. Benny, you're excited about the Shield volcano, right? Absolutely. That means yes. Shield volcanoes are really interesting because it's more of a dome shape, right? And the dome shape is actually created by the different layers of lava that have oozed out. Now, these types of dome-shaped volcanoes, they don't necessarily erupt up, but they actually ooze out. And so a good example of a dome-shaped volcano like this one, or the Shield volcano as it's called, are the ones in Hawaii. So it's, again, really great piled up layers of lava, but not necessarily a big explosion that's going to happen. We made this one here out of dirt, rocks, different leaves and stuff that we found in the backyard. So this is one example of the type of volcano that you can make. And the eruption that we had for this one, as you'll see in the next few minutes, is with what they call elephant toothpaste, right? Yes, elephant toothpaste. So elephant toothpaste, if you're not familiar with it, we'll show you how to make that in a few steps in the next couple of minutes or so. But it's basically yeast, hydrogen peroxide, and dish soap with a little bit of food coloring. And my friend Ronnie's going to tell you about a different version up next.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Ronnie Vasquez, and in my volcano, we're going to be talking about Cinder Volcano. This volcano is pretty simple. As you can see, I use aluminum foil and a little container where we're going to have our reaction. This volcano is actually made of lava rocks, ashes, and little small rocks. And as you can see, there's a big crater right here. It only has one way out. So we're just going to erupt, and it's going to go vertically, and then that's what the shape that it's going to look like. As you can see, it also looks like a cylinder, and they're usually not very high in their natural environment. In order to get my reaction, I use Coke and Mentos, and the way it works is that the reaction is not actually a chemical reaction, it's more of a physical reaction. Both contains carbon dioxide, and the surface of the Mentos is actually very porous. It means that the Coke can actually dissolve it pretty easily. And this process is called nucleation. Is the fact that it's the time that we have to see a phase change from the Mentos, which is a solid, to be dissolved into the liquid so that everything can be uniform. And now my friend Archie is gonna go ahead and talk about his design.
Hi friends, we're gonna go talk about the Strato Volcano, also known as the composite volcano. This is like the most common volcano that you see in movies or YouTube videos because it has this conical shape, kind of like a pyramid. The reason for this conical shape is because when this volcano erupts, it does really violent eruptions, but the lava that it throws out is very, very high in viscosity, meaning that it's very sticky, kind of like your syrup, your honey. And when it's coming down from the very top, it cools off really fast because it's moving so slow that it's giving us that conical shape. Here, what my volcano was made of is basically about flour. Something that if you like baking, you can just grab flour and make your own dough and then just get a plastic bottle and then just cover it around it. The reaction that we're gonna be working here, we're gonna be using Alka-Seltzer tablets, which Alka-Seltzer tablets are gonna bubble up once they come in contact with water. Like us, have you ever had a stomach ache, how it fizzles up in your cup and you drink it? That's what's gonna be happening in the reaction. So you at home can definitely create a volcano with many materials that you can find at home. So don't be discouraged. So pretty soon, right now, we're gonna go ahead and do the eruption of the volcano. So stay tuned.
All right, folks, as promised, now we're gonna go ahead and do the volcano. I've decided we're gonna do two different ones for you today. First we're gonna try out with the acid and the base. So we're gonna do the baking soda and vinegar, and then we're gonna move on to the elephant toothpaste. So as we get started first, I wanna show you, we're gonna do the two different types of reactions. You feel free to choose whichever one works for you. For this type of volcano, really the second demonstration that I'm gonna give you with the elephant toothpaste is the one that it would exhibit mostly how the eruption for this type of volcano happens. So as I said, the first reaction that we're gonna do is gonna be consisting of vinegar and baking soda. So here we have vinegar, regular vinegar, acetic acid, and baking soda that mom probably has in the kitchen somewhere. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna put our vinegar. In this case, I just put everything in a little plastic container that I could drop in. You could probably use a prescription container from old medicine or something that you might have lying around, and it fits nicely in there. And we'll go ahead and add some color, some food coloring into it, right? We'll do some red. That should work there. And you can feel free to use as much as you'd like. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the baking soda. And you don't necessarily have to measure it. I like to just kind of eyeball it. It is science after all. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. Whoa, so as you're seeing that the vinegar and the baking soda are coming together, they're causing a reaction that's releasing all these gas bubbles here. So it's kind of like soda or Alka-Seltzer, if you will, that's kind of reacting. So it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. But honestly, I'm not as excited about this one as I am about the second interpretation that I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of remove this one real quick and set it right here for now. And then I'm going to add our second demonstration. It's going to consist of hydrogen peroxide, which usually comes in this type of bottle here. We're going to use yeast, a yeast solution. So yeast is which it's used basically for baking, and it's going to serve as a catalyst. And what a catalyst is basically it's going to help to speed up the reaction. And so hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. And so the catalyst is going to come here and divide the O2 from the H2O. And so the O2, which is a gas, it's going to be released. But because we're going to add a little bit of detergent, right, a little bit of dish soap, what's going to happen is that instead of just releasing into gas, it's going to be able to make these smaller bubbles that are going to help to show up like foam. So we're going to try this one out too. Now we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of food coloring just to make it interesting. What color should we go with this time? Let's see. Maybe we'll do some yellow and some red. So we'll do some yellow. Drop a little bit of red in here. And so what's the last thing that we're going to add in here? That's right. It's going to be the catalase, right? Or the yeast solution that we're going to do. So let's give this a quick little stir just to kind of get that dish soap into a good solution, and be prepared to be amazed now. So here you go. this is the eruption that I like the most. Oh, it's a little liquidy at first. For this one, it might be because the hydrogen peroxide that I use is in a strong concentration. But as you see now, it starts to thicken up a lot more. You can see over here on this side, it's thickening up as best as we can. And it's kind of hard to see from the angle that the camera's in. So let me show you just a quick little bit. And basically, that's kind of representative of what the lava for this type of volcano would be. So you see now it's a little bit thicker. If you touch it, it's a little warm because it is releasing a little bit of heat. But you notice here, all the oxygen bubbles are now being released, and it's gone ahead and gotten a little foamy. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the different volcano examples that you're going to be seeing. Feel free to follow whichever one works for you. Make it out of dirt, make it out of aluminum, out of dough, whatever it is that you choose to use. Just be safe and make sure you ask for help when you need it. Thanks. So we're going to try it again. This time we're going to try it with vinegar and baking soda one more time, okay? Whoa, look, it's already reacting. So that's all vinegar. Hold on, go ahead and add some color to that, please.
We're gonna add all three.
Yeah, all three of them?
Yeah,
All right, here, I'm gonna add a little bit more vinegar. Okay, go ahead and add what you gotta add before I add what I'm gonna add.
okay. Now that's some green. You add the red, Tammy.
You guys ready?
No.
Now we're just playing around. This is real science. This is where we just see what works and see what doesn't.
Wait, no, we gotta put the red. Ooh.
Whoa.
That's like acid.
There you go. So does that look more like the volcano that you wanted to see?
Yeah.
Yeah? So now that everything is set up, we've gone ahead and done our solution here. We put hydrogen peroxide, some color. These guys wanted to do some purple lava this time. So we have that, and then we're gonna take this yeast solution here that Sammy has created, and we're gonna drop some in here. Paste.
Whoa, I thought it would be more cooler.
Oh, you didn't think that was cool enough?
No, I thought it would pop.
I don't know. I thought that was a lot cooler than the other
Can
one.
we touch it?
Yeah, you can touch it. It's only dish soap. Does it feel cold or hot or anything?
I don't feel nothing. It
feels Nothing?
hot. Warm. It's like foam.
It's like foam?
Okay, for this experiment, we're gonna be doing a cinder cone volcano, which is a small volcano, kind of shaped like a cylinder, and it's made of small rocks, ash, and cinder. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I have already placed my can here. It's closed, so we're just gonna make sure that all the fizz, all the pressure stays inside once we open it, so that we can put later our Mentos. And I have my little container right here so that we don't make a mess. And I have my aluminum foils here, right here. So you're gonna be using some sheets of foil. So let's go ahead and start placing them in our can. So at home, you take your time, make sure that the volcano looks like like you wish, like you would like to see it. You can actually add some color into it if you really want to, but that's just some details that you can actually do at home as well. So there we go. We kind of have like a shape right there, and I already prepared my Mentos right here. So I have 4. I don't know how that's gonna go. Let's check it out. I'm just gonna open the can and then drop them all in there. All right, there we go. 1, 2. Oh wow, with 2 we got the reaction going. That's amazing. Let's put some more and see what happens. It just keeps going. That's really good. So that was what we were talking about earlier, that they both contain carbon dioxide, and the reaction that we see is that the Mentos dissolve in the Coke, and then we get that strong reaction, that strong pressure that we see inside, and then we get our eruption. So there you had it. Thank you very much for looking at this experiment today. There are gonna be some other experiments along the video, so keep tuned. I'll see you in the next episode next week. Thank you.
So like we have talked about the Strato Volcano, the composite volcano. If you want to go ahead and make this volcano, let me give you the recipe of the consistency of the flour that I made, okay? So I used 3 cups of flour. It could be any kind of flour, all-purpose flour, 1 cup of water, 4 tablespoons of oil,
and 1 cup of salt. And this recipe is scalable, okay? So you can make more of it, less of it. It just depends how big you want your volcano. Here we use the 2-liter soda bottle to put our ingredients. Like we said, at the very bottom we have water, and then on top we have oil. The reaction that's going to happen okay right now, we're going to go ahead and start adding food coloring to this. And I'm using red and yellow kind of to see if we can create some orange type of lava visuals. As you see, it should be dropping to the mid part right here, where the oil and the water create a barrier. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and start popping in my Alka-Seltzer pills, because I'm gonna go ahead and see that it generates this reaction called effervescence, because it's gonna generate carbon dioxide. So here we go, let's see what happens. So it begins to bubble up, right? You see bubbling up. So this is a signal that it's being an active volcano. It's not doing an eruption like other ones that explode like that. This is just showing that it's an active volcano. And like the strato and the composite volcanoes, they are active, and they periodically do violent eruptions. And like we said, the lava that it generates, it's high viscosity. When it comes down the sides, it cools off really fast because it's traveling very slow. And that's why it gives you that conical, the pyramidical shape that it does. So I hope you enjoyed this volcano. You at home, you should go ahead and create your own volcano. Think about what other ways you can come up and create your own volcano. It could be, remember, there's multiple kinds of volcanoes, so make sure you do your research, watch YouTube videos, and do some Google research, and you'll be fine to go ahead and create a volcano of your own. Thank you.
Well, that's it for now, friends. We hope you enjoyed this week's lesson of our STEM 10 Plus series. Tune in next week for another fun STEM lesson from your neighborhood scientist. Goodbye and take care.